This is a basic lesson for those of you who are new to Excel and you want to understand how to modify a cell. So for this, there is something called cell mode. What is cell mode? I'm going to show you now. Basically, if you see here at the bottom of the Excel, you have something called ready. If you don't see this ready, you can right click here and then you have here something called cell mode. So if you click on it, it disappears. If you click back, it's back here. So the first state that we have is called ready. Ready means that you can just, using your arrow keys, you can move from one cell to the other, nothing will happen. So simple state. Now once you type something in a cell, for example, I type 45, you can see that this has changed now to enter mode. So basically, Excel will move to enter mode whenever you don't type a formula, you're typing some text or something in a cell, which means that once you type and you move with the arrow key somewhere else, it will just exit the cell and you'll be fine. Now let's go here and let's assume that you have 34. If you want to go into edit mode, which means that you want to edit what you have in the cell, you can just press F2 and you can see that this has changed to edit. So now when I use my arrow keys, I'm inside the cell. It won't go outside the cell. To go outside the cell, you have to press enter. Obviously, you have other ways to go to edit mode. Either you go to the formula bar and then you can type anything here, or you go here and you double click inside and you go to this edit mode. Now, if you use formulas, for example, if I say equal 89 plus, once I do the plus, I'm still in enter mode, but now if I use my arrow keys, it will go to something called point mode. Point mode is a mode where you are pointing to another cell. So now I have to point to another cell, I press enter, and then I move to another cell. But let's assume that you want to edit this. On top of the techniques I showed you, you can do F2. Once you do F2, you can see that we move now to edit mode. So when I use my arrows, I am still inside the cell and I can edit it. So if I do a plus, now even if I move with the arrows, it won't change to point mode. To go to point mode, you can just use your mouse and then click anywhere you want on the sheet. Now, this is important when you have things like conditional formatting. So for example, here I have conditional formatting. If I go to home, I click on conditional formatting, I have manage rules, I double click here, and here I have like cells between E4 and F4, they're going to be colored in blue. If I click here, Excel will automatically go to point mode. So if I move with the arrows, you can see that I'm adding something here. If I don't want to do this, again, the secret formula is the F2 key. And as you can see, when I press on the F2 key, I'm in the edit mode and I can change things inside. This is the same for data validation, or for example, when you are changing a range for a chart, or when you're using the name manager. So data validation is basically this one when you're creating drop-down menus. So again, if you have this and you go, for example, a list, when you click here, if you just go with the cursor, you see that I'm gonna have the point mode on. So these are the basics for entering data in Excel, and hopefully with the F2 key, you'll be able to go much faster at doing your work. And for those of you who don't like to use the mouse when using Excel, this will definitely make your work faster.